But first, we have some breaking news that's happening in the Bronx.
An innocent bystander at an annual basketball tournament at a playground became the latest victim of gun violence here in the city.
And that's why I tell you, midnight basketball will never work. Not only because it won't work, period, but it literally will become the scene of shootings.
Eyewitness News reporter Lucy Yang is live in Morris Heights. Lucy?
Well, Sandra, annual Father's Day basketball tournament, an active crime scene after a woman is shot. It happened shortly before 9 this evening. Police confirm a 25-year-old woman, an innocent bystander, was shot in the left shoulder. She was rushed to St. Barnabas Hospital, where she is expected to survive. For many years, this community here in the Morris Heights section of the Bronx would host a Father's Day basketball tournament here at Half Nelson Playground. This year,
Half Nelson Playground. God, we just some violent people, man. I tell you that, man.
Would host a Father's Day basketball tournament here at Half Nelson Playground. This year, Father's Day coincided with Juneteenth, and you can see balloons celebrating that holiday as well. Tonight, teams of police are busy searching the playground for evidence.
I'm ready to start the music up because now I can just play music without having to stop because the games are over. And
that's how they act up there. They be like extra hype and shit too. Like that's literally how they act. That shit is crazy. Like they just be like, you know what I'm saying? Like they just do a lot. They be doing a lot.
I'm ready to start the music up because now I can just play music without having to stop because the games are over. And next thing I know, foul. One shot only, and that made everybody start running.
You can imagine the panic in that moment. Again, one woman was taken to the hospital tonight after being hit in the shoulder. She is expected to survive as we await more information from officials. For now, we're live in the Bronx. I'm Lucy Yang.
This is breaking news from Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
And that breaking news this morning, a deadly mass shooting in Harlem.
As many as 9 people shot, one of them killed. We have team coverage this morning.
Eyewitness News reporter Kenneth McCown is live at the hospital where the victims are being treated. But first, we go to Derek Waller, who's live at the scene in East Harlem. Derek?
Ken, Charlene, a chaotic scene here at 5th Avenue and West 139th Street. And behind me, you can see where this happened, where the media is actually set up at this overpass across the FDR Drive. That's where we're expecting a press conference shortly with police to update us on this mass shooting that happened overnight. Take a look at this video that we got from overnight. This is some crazy video showing people running on this overpass, a large police presence around 12:35 in the morning. As you mentioned, 9 people shot, 1 person is dead, 4 people were transported from the scene, and then several other people actually showed up at Harlem Hospital on their own. So there's a lot that we don't know right now, but we do know that 9 people got shot here at this what appears to be some sort of gathering happening at a park on the other side of the FDR Drive. And we spoke to some people overnight who were here. Listen to what they had to say.
I feel like it's just only going to get worse. You know, you got protesting going on, you got all this other stuff, but then the protesters are not focused on the black crimes that is being done towards each other. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, fire.
Whoa, somebody better disappear this brother real quick.
He's sleepwalking right now.
Arc Nation. Be an Arc Nation listener.
Yeah, that guy, he dropped it in his, he dropped it in his own way. You can tell he's authentic with it because he's like, he a real brother from around the way, man. Mm-hmm. And even he can see that shit. He just like, man, not protesting and not for this stuff. So he just sees it. He just using his eyes. He's not even using his mind. He's like looking around and like, a basketball player, beloved basketball player from our community, home from college, gets shot at a mass shooting and no one gives 2 shits.
Until that gets attacked, it's just gonna keep on getting worse.
Morning at about 5:30 a.m., police responded to numerous reports of people shot at East 1.
He about to go, man. This guy's about to get into it. Let me.
Police say that this happened around 12:30. Okay, so that was the press conference that's happening right now. Candace McCowan is actually at Harlem Hospital right now with more on some of these victims. Candace?
Yeah, and Derek, as you said, some of those victims were able to walk or either get private transportation here to Harlem Hospital, which is just blocks away from the scene of this shooting. Now, I spoke to a father of a teen who was actually at this gathering, his daughter telling him that this was some type of Father's Day Juneteenth celebration, and that is when everyone heard the gunshots. Listen to what he had.
Yo, she bad as shit, Mo.
I hope she got some body under all that. But yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't matter, man. You could just keep
Yeah, she a baddie though. She a baddie.
Yeah, her face is like that though. Her face is like that.
Yeah, man. But yeah, this is crazy. This man shooting like this is normal. Like it's just another mass shoot, man.
Derek, as you said, some of those victims were able to walk or either get private transportation here to Harlem Hospital, which is just blocks away from the scene of this shooting. Now, I spoke to a father of a teen who was actually at this gathering, his daughter telling him that this was some type of Father's Day Juneteenth celebration, and that is when everyone heard the gunshots. Listen to what he had to say.
According to what one of the teenagers said, it was out of nowhere. But the thing that needs to be on record is, according to most of the teenagers, where it's normally held, law enforcement shifted it to a more isolated area, which in my opinion is not a good look because people hide in the dark.
That son man is blaming the police for moving it to a secluded area. Because the Sudman, like I tell you, it need to be light, well-lit areas. I did the video a couple weeks ago, the white guy putting the lights up all over Baltimore. Have you seen that one? Hit one? Man, listen, he's right. Sudman can't be, you gotta have us in the well-lit, we gotta be observed, gotta be cameras, gotta be police on the scene, gotta be lights everywhere. And got to be violence interrupters walking through, all that shit. Crazy.
That's sad as hell, though, when you really think about it. It really is.
But he said it, not me.
According to what one of the teenagers said, it was out of nowhere. But the thing that needs to be on record is, according to most of the teenagers, where it's normally held, law enforcement shifted it to a more isolated area, which in my opinion is not a good look because people hide in the dark. They don't do things in the light.
Yeah, and again, Harlem Hospital just blocks away from that shooting scene and where some of those victims arrived here after that shooting. That father saying that getting this call from his daughter was scary, as any parent can imagine. Now, thankfully, she was not injured, but her friend was, and they are here at the hospital. Shootings like this are the fear of law enforcement and the mayor as we get into those summer months. Shootings were down 30% over the past months, and NYPD has been working to get guns off the streets, but still they're anticipating the number of shootings to go up. They shifted officer hours and taken some of those officers off of desk duty to have more people on the street. But again, a lot of people here, many of those victims here at Harlem Hospital this morning, recovering, assessing the amount of injury that they have here this morning. But again, that 21-year-old did die at Lincoln Hospital. We know
a mass shooting in Harlem that killed a college basketball star. He's being described as a hometown hero.
All right, Fox 5's Lisa Evers live at the scene with reaction from community members who are once again calling for change. Lisa.
Well, Stephen, Lori, community leaders and residents are getting ready to rally here. They are outraged by the ongoing gun violence and by the gun battle, this roving gun battle that took the life of a promising college basketball star and injured 8 other people. A Father's Day barbecue in the sliver of park on the East River off the FDR Drive near East 139th Street erupted in violence about 12:45 Monday morning. Sources say there were dozens of shots fired by multiple shooters. 21-year-old Harlem resident and college basketball star Darius Lee was shot and killed. 8 other people were wounded.
Anytime that there is a party and more than 2 guns come out,
That's a problem. On the block where Darius Lee lived with his mother and sister, there was a makeshift memorial. Hugs and many tears over a promising life lost. Lee was home for the summer from Houston Baptist University, where he'd just been named Male Student Athlete of the Year. Athletic director.
My God. Jesus Christ.
This sounds like stories I've heard from the 80s, Doc. 80s and 90s.
Yeah, man. This is just it's unbelievable, man. This kid, he averaged 18 points a game, man, last year. And no NBA player will tweet about this. Not one.
I never understood that. I'm
starting to think NBA stands for No Black Association.
Right.
But you explained it well, it's still mind-boggling.
Yeah. This is crazy. Yeah, it's still sick, even though you know the psychology behind it. It's still because they keep doing it, because high school basketball stars are killed all the time. This time the college basketball stars are killed a little less frequently than high school basketball stars, but it's still, like, these are people that do your profession, like, that died. Like, we talking about motherfuckers, like, this motherfucker is not like a chump. This motherfucker good. This motherfucker could have went to the NBA one day.
D1?
Yeah. He could have went to the NBA one day.
If you don't mind me, real quick, there was I don't know if you know, but Chicago Sky won the WNBA championship, right? Well, around that finals time, there was a girl in Chicago on the west side that caught a straight bully, who supposedly was a very good female.
Yeah, I remember that. I did a video on that, yeah.
And they didn't say shit about it, not one tweet.
And they dedicated their season to fucking Jacob Blake.
Jacob Blake. Exactly. You know what I'm saying, dude? I don't understand.
A rapist.
Do you understand that a fucking college basketball star could be go to an NBA game, get killed outside of the stadium, like right in front of the stadium, and these motherfuckers wouldn't say shit about it.
This nigga could be at the combine or some shit.
Right. If he gets killed by a black dude, they gonna act like nothing happened.
Stay in school, kid.
I don't get it, man. It's
Moniachi says our prayers are with his family first and most importantly, but also with his friends, coaches, and teammates. He was a very fine young man who had a very bright future in front of him, both on and off the court. His high school coach says he was the best of the best.
It was just full of energy and full of life and full of like positive vibes. Like, he's someone that everyone would root for. Like, he's a hometown hero.
Markers for bullet casings spanned a large area, as did hats and bags left behind in the mayhem as people were running for their lives. The grief over this loss is being felt even by those who did not know the basketball star personally.
The mother lost a child, a promising student, a young man that had a scholarship, a young man that had no prior arrests. He was doing a phenomenal job in school. He was doing a phenomenal job on the basketball court.
Now, we've seen teams of detectives all day here processing the scene, which is extremely extensive, going from here on Fifth Avenue all the way over to the East River. My sources close to the investigation tell me that detectives are still trying to figure out exactly how many shooters there were, and they're looking for information from witnesses and people who may have been there, and asking you to call 1-800-577-TIPS. We're live in
another mass shooting with nobody in custody.
Hey, was this guy targeted because he was successful and known in the community?
No, he was just wrong place, wrong.
Well, I don't believe in coincidence.
Well, you gotta start believing in coincidences.
Right. Just based off where they're placing all the evidence markers, it looked like it was on a bridge, and the park was below it, so they probably started shooting from above. It's not the target.
Yeah. Stop.
You heard of Blackish thing? You don't believe in coincidences?
Yeah. This is not that deep, man.
Well, yesterday's mass shooting in Harlem left a college basketball star dead. Darius Lee was shot and killed during a melee that left 8 others injured. More than 150 rounds were fired, and police believe there were multiple shooters that are still on the loose. Lisa Evers is live in Harlem with the latest. Lisa.
Well, Chris, the grief over the murder of this college basketball star hangs heavy in the air here in this Harlem neighborhood where he grew up and where Darius Lee was killed in what police sources say was a wild gun battle between two heavily armed groups. He becomes a
wild gun battle between two heavily armed groups. I bet you that, what they say, 9 people got shot. I bet you half of them had nothing to do with it.
Latest innocent victim in the city's gun violence epidemic. Now, this morning, police officers posted new flyers with a photo of Darius Lee asking for information and announcing a $3,500 reward. So far, there have been no arrests in this mass shooting just after midnight Monday in a park off the FDR Drive near East 139th Street. Police say Lee was not a target. 8 other people were injured. Lee was a beacon of hope and pride in this community. He was a college senior set to graduate with a bachelor's degree in December from Houston Baptist University, a student athlete with good grades on a full scholarship. Outside his apartment building on 138th Street, the memorial to him grows by the hour, and so do the calls for those who know something to speak up. Here's a family friend.
If you know the streets, I mean, you know, with a person like Darius, man, I mean, the truth is going to come out, man, you know. So I advise whoever it is to just, you know, speak up, turn yourself in.
Not happy.
Not happy, yeah, nah. He knows that too. You can tell, look at him, he knows that.